Hello, hello, everyone. It is Monday. I guess it's time for a quick and easy card with Cindy. Is everybody ready for that? I know I had to wake up this morning to figure out what I was going to do, but I found this wonderful stamp, so I'm going to use it today. So let's get started with getting this done. Uh oh, I'm hearing myself. Elaine's got her little machine going. I don't like to listen to myself talk. Is anybody else like that?
I got you, girl. I got you.
Hello, Marty. She's ready and I'm ready. So let's get going. Okay, it's time for some candy canes. Not the ones you eat, the ones you stamp.
Hey, no calorie candy cane.
No calorie candy canes. My kind of candy. I like it.
That's my kind of candy. No
And-
calories.
And I'm going to use our new in colors that is popular for Christmas this year, which is pinks and greens. We get out of that traditional colors of reds and greens. We're going to do pinks and greens. So I'm going to do polished pink and granny green apple. Hello, Donna. How you doing? Hi, Janet. Thank you for sharing, Donna. We love it when you do that. You're always so good at sharing. But today I'm going to show you how to use our background stamps. You can't go do these without our Stamparatus, because I remember the day when I first started and I would get a background stamp and I would have the hardest time getting to it stamp evenly. Oh my God. I remember at one point I would put it on the ground and put my foot on it to see if I could get it to stamp properly. That was a long time ago, but hey.
Long time. Last week. What are we talking about?
No. I'm a Stamparatus now, so I don't need to worry about that. Hi, Doreen. Oh, she loves it. No calories. I know. That's my kind of candy. Starburst candy canes? Oh, absolutely not. No way, Jose. Mm-mm. So, anyway, I went ahead and took it out of the case, and here is my background stamp. And what you do, and I'm gonna give these are tips and tricks on how to use this the best way. I went ahead and placed it on my plate, and I kind of used the grid lines. There's grid lines on here. I don't know if you can see that. There's some grid line. There you go. You can kind of get an idea. So it kind of gives you a way to put it on evenly so it's not callywonkered. That's one of my words, callywonkered. So what I always do when I'm trying to place something down and I want to make sure that I get the whole look of the stamp is I go ahead and ink it up and I stamp it on my grid paper. That way I have an idea of how big it's going to be and then how I want to put my paper down so that I can get a nice even stamp and make sure that I don't miss any spots. So I went ahead and did that. So as you can see, I went ahead and inked it down with my polished pink, and then I did a stamp on there. Now I'm just going to take your standard size basic white, and I'm going to go ahead and put this down, and this is just your 4 by 5 1/4. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a different way instead of just putting it down as one solid piece. That's why I have these strips here. I'm going to show you how to do a design with it. So the best way I find is I put a little bit of just a little piece of your tape runner on the back. So that way, because you're using the whole stamp, you're not really going to be able to use your magnet. So this way I can kind of get an idea of where I want to put my paper so I get the whole design, as you can see. And then this way, see, it's not going to move as I'm doing the ink. Because I will tell you, on most of our stamps, in order to get a good coverage, you do probably need to stamp it twice. Just because it's a bigger stamp, and I like to get a nice solid image down. That's why I love the Stamparatus, because, you know, when we used to use blocks, it was kind of hard to do that. That's why I kind of stood on it. Make sure I got as much ink as I could on the paper. Needless to say, it didn't work very well. All right, so I've got that inked up, and now I'm just going to stamp this. And remember, one of our new tools that we used, instead of using my fingers, because you know my fingers get kind of sore sometimes. Love my new tool. Look at that tool. And all you do is you press it down. Elena's got this in her store, and that's at papercraftsbyelaine.com. And she's got this in her store that she can send this to you. It is the coolest tool, because look at that, how I can just press and move it around. It's like pressing cookie dough, I guess.
I am foosball.
Now, see what I mean? If you looked at this closely, it's inked and it's stamped, definitely. But I want it a little bit darker. So that's why I say this is a perfect tool to use, where I can put another layer of ink on here and I can go ahead and get it a little darker, because that's the look I'm looking for. So I'm just kind of pressing my ink all around on my Stamparatus. I can push this down again, and because I put a little bit of adhesive on that paper, it didn't move, and I can stamp it again. Woohoo! Look at that. So I'm just pressing and going around. Make sure I'm missing all of the edges. And look at that. Woohoo! Isn't that pretty? Nice, good, even coverage, and done. Makes it so much easier to do stuff with your Stamparatus. And if you were doing multiple cards, then you just go and put your next piece down, and before you know it, you've got all these cards already stamped and you're ready to go and assemble. Great tool to do multiple stamping with. Once you're doing, everybody's going to be working on those Christmas cards. What can I say? So we are going to go ahead and get this done, and I'm going to go ahead. I am using Polished Pink and my Polished Pink ink, and I'm using Granny Green Apple as my other ink. And I decided to do a top folding card, so I did this at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And this will be my inside basic white piece, and that's at 4 by 5 1/4. And then I went ahead and did this, and I'm going to go ahead and cut these as we're talking. But I came up with 3 strips that I'm going to put down on this card to give it the design. And then I'm going to go ahead and layer this. So these strips are, excuse me, 1 1/8 by 5. And I did 3 of them. You can make them as big as you want, depending on what the look that you want. You could actually even make them wider if you wanted to do that too, but I wanted a little bit of spacing behind it, because that's just the look that I was looking for. So on this, I'm actually going to be cutting these, and I'm going to cut them as 3 strips, and I'm going to do them at 1 inch by 4 7/8. Here we come out with all those different sizes. But it's 4 7/8 is just 1 mark less than your 5. So it makes it a little easier to figure that out. Now I could do it so I could cut the whole thing at the bottom. That was another idea that you can do. You can go ahead and cut this, since this is, remember, this was 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm only going to use it to 5. So you could go ahead and take the 1/4 inch off if you want. But I was just going to show you how to do it strip by strip, so it doesn't matter. So again, this is going to be at 5, and I'm just going to take that little bit off. All right, and I'll go ahead, and since I'm going to do 2 more on that, I'll go ahead and take that 5 off too. And I'm going to go ahead and do this as another inch. And I'll get my 3rd one going at another inch. Hi, Sandy. How you doing? Are you at work? Are you taking your break? All right. Oh, and Nancy's here too. Well, we've missed you. We got all sorts of people today, I tell you. All right, so now I've got my strips going. Now, one of the things you can do is when you're doing this, because you kind of want the scene, it's more of a technical-ish thing, but I try to make sure I keep them in order. So that way you're still getting kind of that solid look. So I'm going to put each one of these strips on my Granny Green Apple. Whoop. And guess what? I cut my Granny Green apple a little too short. Look at that. I cut it at 5. And this actually is supposed to be at 4 7/8. So see, all of us, when we're crafting, we make little boops. So I can do the 4 7/8. So I'm just going to take off a little bit of a little bit more. See, I'm talking. Is that talking? I can't talk and cut at the same time. You never know. So easy peasy fix. There we go. 4 7/8. So now we've got a little bit of an edging all the way around. There we go. Now we've got it. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. Put my trimmer away. Oh, hi Meredith. Oh, you're never late. You're just gonna,
Always on time.
always on time. Just got your own schedule. That's all. All right, so we're going to go ahead and glue these down. You can use your Tombow glue or you can use your favorite tape runner, whatever you like. Doesn't take much. Just kind of get that down. Just try to make it even all the way around. Sometimes when I'm doing this, I tend to use my tape runner than my glue because sometimes like this one, I want to bring it back up a little bit and then reposition it. And with that Tombow glue, if you don't get it just the way you want it, it doesn't take long and it's dry. But it's still a great glue. Just depends on what you're doing and what look you want. So I use different types of adhesive depending on what project I'm working on. All right.
Debbie from Michigan.
Oh, Debbie Green. Southwest Michigan. Oh my. There we go. Well, hello and welcome. Oh, and she shared. There we go. So this is what I'm going to be doing. So I'm actually going to space these out. And I'm going to go ahead and then I'll put those down. Just kind of give an idea of, I wanted a border all the way around. And this is kind of the look that I'm going to have. Now, one of the tools I was going to use is, I love this ribbon. This is called, let me get this out, metallic netting, I believe is metallic mesh ribbon. Absolutely love this ribbon. It's hard to see it on camera. See if I can get it. So, let's see, maybe if I do on the back of a card, you can see it. There you go. See, look at that. Isn't that pretty? And I love the way it ties. It really ties well. So there's one look I did when I did my card the first time is I went ahead and put it on the back of my 3 strips and then I tied it. But this time I decided I'm going to go ahead and put my strips down because some people not want to waste that kind of ribbon on the back side of your strips. So I was going to show you that what I do when I'm tying a ribbon like this is I kind of squish it together. I don't know if you can see that. Just kind of squish it together and then I'm going to tie my bow. Okay. And then what's nice about this ribbon is that you can fluff it when you got it tied the way that you want it. So see how that kind of tied that way? And now I can fluff it up kind of by spreading it out a little bit. And then you've got a bow the way you want it. Or you can keep it tight either way. But I think that will make a really pretty bow, a little nice accent on there. And I'm going to put that down with a glue dot. So you can kind of make your bow as big as you want, as small as you want. But I thought this would be a great way to show. I don't tend to not use ribbon a lot when we have some really pretty ribbon. So I just forget about it, to be honest with you. So nice to, when I have it out, it's right in front of me. I said, this time I'm going to use this ribbon. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down, but let's go ahead and put my strips down first. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of adhesive back there. And the way I do it, I just kind of get it started. And I kind of have an idea top to bottom where I want it. And then I just want my strips, and then you'll see that, you want to make sure you try to get them straight. That's always the challenge, but I want that kind of look on either side. So I want that even border. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on the outside. And of course, as usual, I ran out of tape runner. It's live. That's all I can say. You really get the real deal when you watch our videos because we do them live. I'm going to go ahead and do my other one, and I'm now switched over to my Tombow. And when you're doing this kind of project, this is when Tombow really comes in handy because you can kind of move it around, kind of see where you want, and then you are done. So I kind of want to move that up just a tad, make sure it's even. There we go. And then I'm going to put my bow down. I know, I love, Meredith, I love this ribbon. It is so pretty. You can do so many different things with it, and it ties so well. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger because, I don't want it to be just this tiny little bow on my, I'm going to make it a focal point. So I'm going to use my glue dots. I'm going to grab a glue dot here. Got to probably grab a couple of them. Fold this back and get my glue dots going. One. Get a couple of them. Make sure that sticks. And I'm going to kind of not put it right in the middle. I'm just going to kind of put it off to the side a little bit. I'm going to put that down. Get my snips here, and I'm going to snip this out a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and snip this side. And this would still mail really well because it will lay flat. And then I went ahead and stamped this, but it's a Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. And I remember in the past, I've talked about these dies. Stitch So Sweetly dies are a great set of dies to use. You have all sorts of different shapes you can use. This was one of the shapes that I liked, and I liked it because it's got a little bit of a square to it. That will go ahead and put on here. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of my dimensionals. Get those out, and I'm going to put some dimensionals behind there. So I've got a little bit of pop dot going. I think this is just this would take you no time at all to make multiple cards, and I think it's a great way to use one of our background stamps. You can do them in all different colors. Isn't that cute the way that turned out? You can even add some bling to this if you wanted to add, since you've got some kind of bling in your ribbon. You can go ahead, you could add a little bit of bling in here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the stamp on the inside. And I decided, since I used Have a Holly Jolly Christmas and I used it out of our Holly Jolly Wishes, I decided I would use 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly as my sentiment on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and get my Granny Green Apple out. I'm going to go ahead and stamp that on the inside. Try not to get my gray hair in the I'm going to go ahead and do my, you know me, I always have my little test paper out just to see how it's going to stamp. Okay, give myself an idea there. All right. Now the other thing, since I don't really have a stamp per se, since I had my candy canes and I have my words, I have a way still to kind of decorate the inside of the card, because you know me, I don't believe in naked cards. So I'm just going to take a very small strip of the piece that I still had left over, probably about a half inch of that, just a little bit of a strip. Doesn't have to go top to bottom. It's just a little, it's meant to have a little bit of an accent, something on the inside that marries the two together. And you can have it go all the way to the bottom and go up, but I think I'm just going to kind of put it right kind of in the center. Whoops. There we go. Got my glue down. I'm going to put that on the inside. That way I'm not wasting any of my pieces. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the inside. And there you go. A quick and easy card. No time flat. You can make multiples of these. And I think this would be a great way to send some really fun Christmas cards to everyone. Have a holly jolly Christmas. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, I do like this one, Janet. I think it's a very pretty card. And I love the ink colors. This polished pink ink color and Granny Green Apple are definitely two colors that go together. And I think they would make some really pretty Christmas cards. So sky's the limit, ladies. Just think about what you could do with some of your other stamps to incorporate these pretty colors into that. So that is today's quick and easy card. We've got Wednesday coming up. I don't know what Elaine's got up her sleeve. Is she going to do a scrapbook page? What is she going to do? You just never know with what Elaine's up to these days. And I hope that everybody saw her video yesterday, right? Didn't you do a video?
I did do a video with a very special offer.
Ooh, we love offers. Well, hi, Panda. How are you? Panda Posey is with us.
Oh, hey, Panda.
I think Elaine knows you, right? Oh, that's wonderful. So, yes. So, if you missed yesterday's video, I would definitely go back and take a look at it. She's got a special offer in there, and she's got a project coming up, a really fun project that I think everybody wants to get in on. So, thank you, Doreen. I love it too. So, again, Wednesday is our scrapbook day, and Friday is tips and techniques. So, don't forget to stay tuned at 2 o'clock on each of those days. And be sure to go back and look at that video that she did yesterday. So until then, see, Meredith said she's going to go look for that video because she wants to know what's going on.
That's right. You have to watch the video to know what's going on. Not going to let Cindy tell.
Nope.
It's a secret.
Nope. I promised that I would just give you guys a hint. That's all. All right. Until Wednesday, we will see you then. I hope everybody has a fantastic rest of your Monday. Until then, bye now.